Hi, fourth graders. We have one final revision lesson, and then the next time we're doing some peer editing and looking at our titles. But today we want to look at the ending, your conclusion, and we want to revise your conclusion to both show change and give closure. Closure means that it's wrapping up, and you want the ending to feel like it's wrapping up because often we just sort of end and it doesn't feel like anything has happened. So there's a couple things to consider when you are ending your narrative piece. First thing you want to think about is, does it connect to the main part of the story? So thinking back to your story mountain, thinking back to what your story is actually about, you want your ending to connect to it. So in my story, my character is kind of wrestling with this idea about being too little and wanting to fit in. So my ending should connect to that. Second thing to think about is, does the character realize something? Does the character change? Sometimes it's the way that others see him or her that changes if the character themselves doesn't change. But usually in a good story, there's some kind of change or a realization. And then finally, does it feel complete? It shouldn't feel like you got up and walked out of the room and just forgot to finish your story. So, a couple things to think about when you are working on this. You can have your character think or talk about how they feel to show how they change, right? So she can think about her choices and what is the best thing to do. That's one way that I can show this. Another thing I can do is have an action to show it, right? So my character running home to tell mom shows that she decided to do the grown up thing. So I'm going to go into my piece and I'm going to show you how I did this. I wanted to make sure it connected to the main part of my story, that she realizes something, she makes a decision, and it feels complete. Okay? And I'm going to do a little bit of both. I'm going to have my character think about it, and I'm also going to have an action that shows it. So here was my first ending. It said, they turned and left. I ran right home to tell mom. So I have this transition here. Without another word, they turned and left, walking off into the overgrown field toward the college. After standing in bewildered silence for a few moments, I realized that I had no idea which direction they were walking and wagered that they didn't know either. I kicked at the dirt. I weighed my options. I thought about the two lost little boys walking off into nowhere with a suitcase full of nothing and a head full of wild ideas. Would it be better to die from a curse or be grounded for the rest of my life for not telling my mother that my 10-year-old brother was attempting to walk to New York City? I ran right home to tell mom. Okay. So you see how I made sure that it connected with this idea, right? Of like trying to fit in, but also feeling like I needed to do the right thing. And I had her think about it, right? I talked about her actions. I showed how she was feeling, right? Kicking at the dirt. And then that action of running home to tell mom shows how it's changing. So I'd like you to do this in your pieces today. I want you to think about how you can show change and give closure. And if you would like to, I also attached in here some mentor texts where you can see some different endings, and you can click on these links and check them out, and maybe that will inspire you. All right, good luck.